Hello. So just a disclaimer, although I am now a proud representative of Louisville, Kentucky, I am from Connecticut originally. I'm also Italian, so I'm going to talk with my hands, and I might talk really fast, because when I get really passionate about things, that's what happens. Just recently, for those of you who don't know, Jen came to Louisville, Kentucky to keynote our first ever day of celebration. And what that was a chance for the city to recognize all of the performance improvement and government innovations that were taking place in Louisville. Over 200 Metro employees came out, along with citizens and residents of Louisville, to hear what was going on in Metro government. So that's Jen with our mayor and a Louisville Slugger bat. And one of the things that she said while she was there, which we've heard a lot since coming here, is government is what we do together. I think actually maybe it's a quote from Tim, but I quoted Jen up here. So I want to push the notion, because I think what was meant by the we in government is what we do together is all citizens, whether they work within city government or they don't. But what I think is really critical to the success of any city is when the people working within city government take on that we mentality. So it's not just, what am I getting done as a police officer? What am I getting done in the Public Works Department or in the Office of Performance Improvement? But what are we doing as city employees to better the services that we provide to our customers? So in Louisville, what we're trying to do is take the organization that we currently have, which is a group of people who do really well at the basics. Right? We provide great services to our citizens. People aren't rioting in the streets. But what we want to do is we want to transform that organization to a high-performing organization where every person working in Metro government is continually working to improve what they do and how they do it. And so to do that, the mayor, back in January of this year, formed the Office of Performance Improvement. The office has three main core functions: figuring out what it is city government does through our planning function, performance management, figuring out how well we're doing it, and then a continuous improvement arm, how can we do it better? I'm not going to really spend time talking about the planning piece, but I'm going to focus on our Louis Stat program and then also the continuous improvement work that we do. So for those of you who aren't familiar necessarily with what a STAT program is, in Louisville, what we do is for each department that's a part of our Louis Stat program, and there's now 8 departments on board, every 6 to 8 weeks, that department comes before the mayor and all of the functional heads within Metro government. And they have a conversation about data. And they come back every 6 to 8 weeks and have a conversation about that data. The data that we discuss are things that are operationally important to the department, but that are also really relevant and important to the sustainability and viability of our city. Things like how much unscheduled overtime are you paying out? How much workers' comp are we paying out due to injuries? What's the safety rate in the departments? What type of jobs are they getting injured on? And then we also look at metrics that are really important to the department itself. While we've been having these meetings, a lot of really meaty issues have sort of surfaced. Issues that can't be addressed by the department itself or by the Office of Performance Improvement, and really shouldn't. They require the work of a cross-functional team. And what that basically is bringing together folks from various departments across Metro government, functional areas, seniority levels, so we can have a department director or a tipper from our solid waste management department on the same team. We're giving them the tools that they need to address the problems that we're seeing across Metro government, identify the root causes using analytics, and then develop solutions that can address those problems. And to do this work of creating a culture of continuous improvement, building those skill sets, we want total participation, right? It's not enough that the Office of Performance Improvement has the skill set and ability to analyze data and to report out on it, but we want every person within Metro government to eventually be able to use that data in the same way and to help address the problems or issues within the department. But total participation is really hard to get to, especially when you have an organization of 6,000 people. So we kind of are going with the lone nut or dancing guy theory. For those of you who haven't seen this, it's sort of a great YouTube video about how do you start a movement. And the whole concept behind the lone nut or dancing guy thing is that really what you need to do is get the first followers, that first 20%. And those first 20%, the early adopters, the folks who get really excited about what you're doing, are passionate about it and want to be involved, those are the people who are going to sort of spread what's going on through word of mouth. And they're going to help bring along the other 60%. And then the last 20%, it's really irrelevant if you sort of get them on board, because sometimes there's just naysayers who are never going to kind of come along. So once we've got those folks, and the way that we've identified our first sort of followers is within the first month that I was on board, I sent out an email to all Metro employees, all 6,000 employees, and I said, the Office of Performance Improvement is now formed. We're looking for anyone who has an idea or thought about how to improve city government. You know, are you frustrated in your daily job because of a system or a process that you are working on that you know could be better, could be improved? Do you want to learn more about the skills or tools that you could apply to improve what we're doing? We had about 100 people who responded within like a month and a half. Folks who said, I don't know anything about performance improvement, but I'd love to learn. Or I've got a wealth of ideas and knowledge that I'm just dying to share with somebody, so you know, here's the list. And so we've started working with those folks. We've put them on cross-functional teams, again, addressing the issues that have come out of our Louis Stat meetings. And we first sort of went at them with the change of mindset. So for those of you who haven't heard of this book called We Don't Make Widgets, it's really a great sort of very small book that talks about changing government mindset from one where what I do can't be measured, I don't have customers, we're not here to make a profit, so all of the things that happen in the private sector really don't apply to us. And instead, it's sort of flipping that on its head and saying, you know, what we do can be measured. We do have customers. And although we're not working towards a profit, our citizens do expect a return on investment, right, and a return on their tax dollars. And so it's important to keep that in mind. And I think building that mindset with the folks that we're working with through our work is really important to sort of get them to start adopting all of the stuff that we're doing through performance improvement. The second piece was to start giving them a toolkit for addressing the problems. When we put them on a cross-functional team, we are giving them this model, Plan, Do, Check, Act. It's a reactive problem-solving model. There's others out there, the 7 steps, 7 S's, anything really, but just giving them something, a tool that they can use to really diagnose the root causes of a problem, identify solutions, and then go back and evaluate whether or not those implemented solutions have had the effect that we wanted them to have. The final set of things that we've been translating to our employees is we've done certification in lean process improvement through the help of Humana, which is a local company. And we've also started to train folks in Six Sigma, Green, and Black Belt. And the results have been really quite powerful and impactful. This is sort of an example of one of the cross-functional teams, the lean hiring process improvement that we did. We basically, a true lean process improvement, right? Mapped out the entire process, identified the pain points, saw that it was taking on the long end 304 business days to fill a vacant position. I mean, that's over a year to get somebody into a position. They basically cut out the redundant steps, the long wait time, and we've now got that process down to a max of 74 business days. And there's a wealth of other examples like that through the work of our cross-functional teams, and we really are proving that government is what we do together. Thank you.